In its fifth weekend out at the domestic United States box office, Spider-Man No Way Home finally got dethroned from the #1 spot, while also managing to make enough money that everybody's still staring at it going, how is this even possible? So it's all good. It's all good. So going into this weekend, we were starting to see reports that were worrying some fans of Spider-Man, which again, I don't understand why you're worried unless you're like directly financially involved with this. Maybe you own stock or something. But again, I just didn't see the problem here. People were saying, oh, it's finally going to be taken down. It's going to be a failure. It's Spider-Man. It's finally going down. Well, yeah, over the course of the box office run, every film gets taken down. Do we suddenly look at Avengers Endgame and go, man, that film really failed at box office because 12 months later, something else ended up making more money in its fourth weekend than Endgame did in its 12th? Do you guys see what I'm saying? I don't get the whole, oh my god, it's failing because it's making less money weekend over weekend. That's literally how it goes. That's the thing. Either way, though, this weekend was big because Scream came out. Scream came out with 30.6 million, leaving Spider-Man No Way Home with 20.8 at the second spot. Now, you guys will remember I already talked about this, and people were saying, if this thing makes close to 20 million or more, it's exceeded all expectations for its fifth weekend. And guess what? It's exceeded all of them. Again, I mean, this has been the story for this film, hasn't it? Going into the weekend, people go, well, this is the one. It ain't gonna make this much. They were doing that from the beginning, and it literally surpasses that every time. So I really don't know what else you could say about this film other than victory after victory after victory. I mean, it just took down Avengers. Like, come on. And many of you remember, I always said, if all three Spider-Men are truly in this is Sony's Avengers. This is going to be that big, and it's really not surprising. Like, this film just has no signs of slowing down. Even in its next weekend, and the weekend after that, and the weekend after that, it will still be making millions of dollars going on for at least another 4 to 5 weeks, which honestly, that's the story here. This thing will be finally leaving a few theaters by the time it's out on digital. Like, that is impressive within itself. Like, it's going to be just perpetual moneymaker for the next half a year, which that's really the takeaway here. And 20 million makes me look at the next weekend and go, well, they're going to predict 6 to 8, I'm assuming. Optimistically, some will say 10. Nobody will say it's actually going to hit 10, but it could. And then we're back here in another week going, well, let's see why it did this. And the story will just be the same because it's 3 generational Spider-Men. It's nostalgia. And people are just now going to see it. I literally know a person who's a good friend of mine who just finally saw it this past weekend, who managed to somehow avoid every single spoiler despite being on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know how, but the dude was real happy.